We are 5 days away from the fundamental transformation of America.
Hey there, patriots and shield-shivering socialists. It's your favorite star-spangled truth bomber, Captain America, here to peel back the curtain on the greatest heist since Loki tried to snatch the Tesseract. Picture this. Back in 2008, Barack Obama, let's call him the dark overlord of change, struts onto the scene, promising the fundamental transformation of America. Sounds heroic, right? Not really. It was code for turning the land of the free into a welfare wonderland for imported votes and fraud factories. Facts don't lie, folks. Somalia's civil war in 1991 sends refugees scrambling, but it's under Obama's watch from 2009 to 2017 that the floodgates open wide. Over 54,000 Somalis resettled in the U.S., with Minnesota snagging the lion's share thanks to State Department pipelines greased by NGOs like Lutheran Social Services. Why Minnesota? Good question. I'm sure that it's just a coincidence that it's a swing state ripe for demographic flipping. Obama's quotas hit 110,000 refugees a year by 2016, dumping them in blue havens to breed dependency and lock in democratic power. Now follow me here. This wasn't charity. It was a calculated conquest. Import chaos, fund it with taxpayer money, and watch the votes roll in while America transforms into a third world outpost. But hey, liberals, if it's all above board, why hide the Hawala money trails to Al-Shabaab? And let me ask you this, how does shipping in clans from war-torn hellholes fundamentally transform us for the better? How's that for a challenging statement? Have a different take? Prove me wrong, snowflakes. Show how this isn't Obama's villainous plot to erode our sovereignty. Fast forward caped crusaders as Obama's seeds sprout into a fraud forest thicker than Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet. By the late 1990s, meatpacking jobs lure the first waves to Minnesota, but it's the Obama-era surge, 60 to 100,000 Somalis today, that turns Minneapolis into Little Mogadishu. Enter the scams. $250 million from child nutrition via Feeding Our Future. You know, those fake meals for non-existent kids, plus $100 million in housing fraud, Medicaid ripoffs, and autism therapy cons, totaling a staggering $1 billion stolen, with whispers of possibly $8 billion when all's tallied. And get this, funds Hawala'd straight to Somalia's terrorists, per U.S. intel. Oh, you naive do-gooders, thinking diversity means endless handouts without consequences. Obama's transformation blueprint? Engineer welfare dependency to bleed taxpayers dry, funnel cash to global baddies, and culturally reshape America, clans over constitution, Sharia shadows over the stars and stripes. Let me ask you this. If Somalis are just 1 to 2% of Minnesota's population, but hog massive aid, like 50% or more in fraud in some programs, why overlook the crime spikes in fraud and gangs? Okay, liberals, defend how this import and ignore strategy isn't Obama's masterstroke to destabilize from within. Now, enter the henchman in Obama's rogue gallery. Ilhan Omar, our shadow sorceress, rises from refugee kid in 1995 to Congress in 2018, flipping Minnesota District 5 with Somali bloc vote, which was 78% in her precincts. Modest salary? Sure, but unexplained wealth and campaign fines for donor bundling scream, side hustle. Photos with convicted fraudster Abdul Dahir Ibrahim, and she lobbied for Feeding Our Future, the fraud epicenter. Gee, what a coincidence. Then there's tampon Tim Walz, the bumbling henchman, ignoring all red flags as fraud, explodes, under his governorship, systemic failures, cancelled pressers, shielded docs. And what about this guy, Keith Ellison, as Attorney General? Slow-walking probes like a villain buying time. And then there is the Soros-backed district attorneys, like Mary Moriarty in Hennepin, giving a free pass to the troublemakers causing chaos. Ah, look at these heroes, defending the indefensible, Omar calling fraud probes racist, while the tax-paying victims foot the bill. Obama's plan? Groom puppets like Omar to protect the pipeline, ensuring transformation via voter fraud allegations like fake registrations in her district and cultural conquest. And how's this for a leading question? How does Omar's Somalia first rhetoric not scream foreign agent in Obama's grand scheme? Explain away her silence on the $1 billion theft centered in her backyard, or admit it's all part of the plot. Flash to December 2025, Truth Seekers. The scandal balloons to $1 billion, probably more, with 86 people charged, coincidentally mostly of Somali descent. ICE is busting fraud-linked cons, like Abdul Dahir, tied to Omar and Walz, via smiling snapshots. Stephen Miller dubs it the greatest theft of taxpayer dollars, and Senator Kennedy calls it clown world on steroids, and Trump slams Somalis as garbage while prepping deportations. And Walz? Blamed by over 400 DHS staff for 100% responsibility in systemic rot, and of course, media blackout on mainstream media. There is a lot to talk about in Minnesota. We should probably have that conversation.